Carrie Fisher, the American film star who played Princess Leia in the Star Wars series, has died. Also an accomplished author, she was just 60 years old. She died 4 days after suffering a heart attack on a flight between London and Los Angeles. Our entertainment correspondent, Lizo Mazimba, reports.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins.
Clever and confident, occasionally caustic.
I take orders from just one person, me.
So one day you're still alive. Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Carrie Fisher's Leia wasn't your typical princess waiting to be rescued.
Good luck.
Her most famous character was outspoken on screen.
Governor Tarkin, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash. I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Carrie Fisher was often equally plain-speaking in real life, sharing details of her volatile relationship with her mother, screen legend Debbie Reynolds, and her own struggles with addiction.
People used to ask me, right after I got sober initially, they'd say, "So are you happy now?" And I would say, among other things, happy is one of the many things, the many emotions I'll go through in a day. You're not just skipping around spouting Hallmark cards, but, yeah, I'm in a really much better place.
Somehow you lay the entire blame for your drug taking on me.
I do not.
I do not, Mother. I took the
The
drugs.
film Postcards from the Edge was based on Carrie Fisher's semi-autobiographical novel of the same name. The central character, an actress and recovering drug addict, played by Meryl Streep.
I never get my hair done.
Fisher was a teenager when she made her cinema debut opposite Warren Beatty in romantic comedy Shampoo, before Star Wars made her one of cinema's most famous faces. Throughout her career, she continued working behind the camera, often as a script doctor, as well as in smaller roles in front of the camera, in movies like When Harry Met Sally.
Restaurants are to people in the 80s what theater was to people in the 60s.
I wrote that.
And in 2015, she reprised her role as Princess Leia in Star Wars The Force Awakens. And that's how millions will remember her, a groundbreaking modern heroine from a galaxy far, far away.
Let's get some personal recollections of Carrie Fisher from Warwick Davis. You can see him in the screen there. Warwick appeared alongside Carrie Fisher as the Ewok Wicket in The Return of the Jedi, and he's in Woking in the south of England. Warwick Davis, thank you very much indeed for your time. How will you remember Carrie Fisher?
As a fun, sharp-witted, humorous person. I had the pleasure of interviewing Carrie on numerous occasions for various Star Wars events, and most recently actually in London in July. And she's just brilliant, recounting stories of being on Star Wars very frankly, and having a great sense of humour about the character and how she fitted into the Star Wars universe. So yeah, very, very fun memories.
You were only 11 years old when you first met her. That must have been quite something.
It was indeed. I was a massive Star Wars fan, and when I first met Carrie, I didn't see Carrie Fisher, the actress, I saw Princess Leia, and used to have conversations with her as such, which for her must have been a little disconcerting, but it was a dream come true for me at 11 to meet Princess Leia and to get to work alongside her. And we had actually a scene together in Return of the Jedi, which is the scene when Wicket the Ewok, my character, first discovers Princess Leia when she's crashed her speeder bike. And I remember playing the scene with Carrie and her being so kind of caring and really leading me through the process of making the film and acting, because it's something I'd never done before. She was brilliant.
And having been a dramatic actress and coming into science fiction and Star Wars, I suppose by the time Return of the Jedi was being filmed, she was already used to that kind of genre. Did she instruct you about a different way of acting or being in a science fiction film compared to something else? Because it was groundbreaking what George Lucas was doing.
Well, absolutely. I mean, for her in 1977, working on Star Wars A New Hope, the very first Star Wars film, this was something very different. And all of the actors were taken a little off guard, you know, having to kind of, they often tell stories of having to relay this dialogue that George had written that was very hard to actually say out loud. But for me, I mean, it was my very first role, so I didn't understand anything about acting or performance, and so really it was about me just kind of understanding the process, and Carrie helped me a lot with understanding the process of making a film and being an actor on a film set.
You mentioned her sense of humour, and it's something that's come across as people have been talking about her, that being the daughter of Demi Reynolds, she could have had possibly a sense of entitlement about her life and her job, and yet she was so down to earth and she was so real that people just keep referring to the fact that despite the fact that she was the Carrie Fisher, she was such a genuine person.
Very, very genuine. You know, she played this iconic character, Princess Leia, loved by millions of fans all over the world, and was instantly recognizable. But that didn't affect her in any way. You know, she didn't expect any Stark treatment. She wasn't celebrity. She was Carrie Fisher, more often than not, with Gary the dog, the double act that they were, and just an absolute joy. And when I interviewed Carrie on stage, you know, she was always game to reenact scenes from the film. You know, I'd present it to her on the spot live. I said, why don't we recreate the scene that we did in Star Wars? And she was always game for that, and totally went for it wholeheartedly, and was just brilliant. And I think we did get to know Carrie Fisher. You know, it wasn't like she hid behind a facade at all. She was very open and honest, and I think people like that when they get to know somebody and feel like they know them. And even though she's gone, I'm so pleased that I got to know her, and also millions of fans around the world also got to know her.
I suppose, Warwick, the great testament is that people like you have been talking about her with a smile on their faces. Warwick Davis, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Still to come here on BBC World News.